sauna in and my red light therapy in. And you almost become like obsessed about optimizing to the
Right.
point where
your skin barrier. And it's very important because when we talk about hydration comes from the ability of your skin to hang on to the moisture and the water, right? And so if your barrier is astaxanthin. Do you take astaxanthin? Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. I do not take it. Why should I?
So if you could only take one supplement only in your life, what would it be? It would be a toss-up between fish oil, right, and astaxanthin.
Welcome to another Million Miles, your personal lifestyle concierge with credibility. I'm Danielle Keasling, and in each episode, I connect you with unparalleled access to authentic, credible voices from across the entire world of beauty, wellness, fashion, travel, and mindset. Hi, friends, and welcome back to another Million Miles, where the show that we elevate the way that you think, the way that you live, and the way that you approach optimizing your life, and some of these conversations that can probably change your mindset. So today I have the great pleasure of bringing on a doctor that is not only just Dr. Shapiro, but is an entrepreneur in many facets and in life. And it's always a pleasure and honor to bring on someone that is driven by passion and really purpose. And this is going to be a great conversation about pivoting and also creating something that most people aren't approaching the way that I would say Dr. Shapiro is approaching beauty and skin and science. So without further ado, I just want to jump right in because there's a lot to talk about. Please welcome Lily Shapiro, Dr. Shapiro, also as a pharmacist and entrepreneur boss. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So I was reading your bio before we got on, and a lot of like a very interesting journey that you've been on. And I can relate in a lot of different ways. Always say that I'll try anything, and I'm pretty successful at most of the things that I position myself in. But so I can relate to a lot of your journey. Do you want to just give us listeners a brief overview of like, you've done some pretty amazing things in your lifetime, and now you're doing something that's also like equally amazing. So where do you get your inspiration, and what is your story and back?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. So I can maybe take it all the way back. I was born in the Soviet Union, and we came here when I was 10 years old. We came as refugees, 2 suitcases, that kind of thing. And, being immigrants and having this sort of like immigrant mindset, my family thought I should have like a profession, right? Like a profession in hand. And so they pushed me towards pharmacy. I actually wanted to go to med school, but they thought it was more practical to go down the pharmacy, path. And I didn't have the emotional maturity to sort of make my own choice at that time. And so I went to pharmacy school, graduated, worked for a few years, and just didn't love it. It wasn't me. It wasn't a good personality fit. And so I pivoted. I went to business school. I ended up going to Wharton. Wharton is a very heavy finance school. And so inevitably ended up going and following sort of the herd to Wall Street. And I did investment banking, and then I pivoted over to markets. And for the past 15 years, I've been on Wall Street. Most recently, I was helping to run a machine learning hedge fund. And at the same time, as life was moving, and I entered my 40s, I started seeing changes in my skin and my body, right? And I wanted to understand what actually works, right, for skin. Supplements are so trendy right now, right? We're all biohacking, we're all optimizing. But what actually is marketing, what's hype, and what has real human clinical data behind it? And so I dug into the literature to try to understand what should I be taking. And I went through many, many clinical trials, and I looked at the results, at study designs, like to understand like, what's real, what's not. And I ended up coming up with this cocktail that had really approached skin from a very holistic point of view. It wasn't just, let me take collagen, right? It was like, okay, well, for collagen to work, what else do I need to take? What are the cofactors that make collagen work? How do I protect the antioxidant system that degrades, the oxidative stress degrades collagen? How do I protect that system? For collagen to form, cells need energy. How do I give my body the energy, right? So it's a very much a systems-based approach. And so I figured out what I need to be taking. I figured out at what doses, right? Because we don't often talk about dosing, but dosing is super important, right? I like to give the analogy of, if you just ran a marathon and I meet you at mile 26 and I offer you one sip of water, well, technically it's hydrating, but is that going to do anything for you? No,
Mm-hmm.
you need a bottle, right? You need more than a sip. And so dosing, it's the same within supplements, right? Sometimes you see a label and, you know, 100 ingredients are listed. Okay, but are they listed at meaningful doses? Is that actually going to have any meaningful impact on your body? So I figured out what I should be taking. I figured out the right dosing, right? That is supported by a clinical research. And then
Okay.
I did a lot of work on third-party testing to understand which brands are reliable, which brands actually have, what they list on the label, right? Because supplements are not regulated. And so oftentimes what's on the label may not match what's inside the bottle. So ingredients, dosing, and quality.
Okay.
And I came up with this beautiful cocktail for myself and it worked. It was a good cocktail. The challenge was I couldn't swallow all the pills, right? It was literally 2 handfuls of pills and I couldn't do it. I would just stare at it every day and hope that I would pick at a few pills, right?
I think everybody can relate to that in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But the
So,
intentions are there, but then you have to swallow all the pills and you're like,
and
later.
the interesting statistic is up to 40% of adults cannot tolerate swallowing pills globally.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it's a real thing.
Yeah.
So at some point I started opening the capsules, putting them into water, right? And a lot of them are bitter. So then I'm putting electrolytes to mask the bitterness. And then I'm drinking it, but it's kind of disgusting, right? But it's better than taking the pills.
Yeah.
And so that's really how the product was born. I thought, okay, why doesn't a powder exist, right? Like an AG1, but for skin health that has all the right things at all the right doses and is, the best quality. And so I thought, okay, I need to make this. And really it was to make it for myself. I didn't mean to become an entrepreneur. I didn't mean to start this company. Okay. And so the idea was I make it. All my friends always come to me, what should I be taking, right? Because I'm the pharmacist in the family. And so I thought, okay, my friends can take it. I can maybe throw it onto a Shopify e-commerce store. And if people want to buy it, great. If not, whatever, it's for me. So that was the plan. Fast forward, I bring it to life. And the conclusion I came to was that actually I created what I think is the future of dermatology, right? I think we are not thinking about skin health in the way I thought about it and the way I approached it. And I think even now I'm starting to see dermatologists talk about kind of internal support, antioxidants, ceramides, right? But what I created, it's really a systems-based approach. And so I thought, okay, I think I need to bring this to the world in a meaningful way. And so I left the hedge fund in August of 2025, so just a few months ago.
Wow. This is
And this is what I'm doing full time now. Yeah.
that's a big leap. That's a big leap.
Yes. Yes.
How do you feel right now with that? Like that's a big jump.
I feel amazing. I have never worked more in my life. My advisor asked me, how many hours are you working these days? I said, what's 18 times 7?
Yep.
But I don't even notice it. It's energizing because I'm so passionate about it and I believe in it so deeply. So it's been amazing.
Yeah. So ironically, and I just have to throw this out there because I had a moment the other day that I went back a little bit to my roots of journaling and just taking the time to stop and appreciate what the time that I'm putting into things to do things. And so tell me about this product. Tell me about what you created.
Yeah. So I created, it's a powdered supplement for skin longevity is how I'm calling it. And that's a very intentional term. And it's not just because longevity is trendy right now. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the underlying biological processes that drive skin aging, and I am trying to give support to each pillar. So the
Okay.
framework that I came up with, the acronym is CALM, CALM. So
Okay.
C stands for collagen support. So collagen is the matrix that your skin, right? The scaffolding that your skin holds. For collagen, and we can dig into each one deeply. And I'm, as I mentioned, I'm including collagen for things that make collagen work. So for example, collagen needs vitamin C for the helix to be stabilized.
Okay.
Collagen needs zinc and selenium, right? I included silica as well. So it's sort of like a package. It's not just collagen that may or may not work.
Okay.
So the next pillar is antioxidant defense. So oxidative stress is the imbalance of basically reactive oxygen species in your body. Reactive oxygen species are what gets generated from everyday metabolic functions, right? We're eating, we're living, we're breathing, we're generating it. And then your body has a way to clear it out. Digital light. I don't know about you. I'm in front of the computer a lot, right? And that light, it generates reactive oxygen species. UV light, right? Sunlight is very important for our health, but it does generate the reactive oxygen species. And
with over 26 years of real life experiences as a thriving entrepreneur, I'm here to bring you sophistication, insight, and expertise into every aspect of your life. This is Another Million Miles, where luxury meets authenticity and every step brings you closer to the life that you deserve.
So when your body is not able to clear those at a rate that is equal to how fast they're being created, you get an imbalance and you get oxidative stress. And
Okay.
oxidative stress is what sort of drives like the collagen degradation, right? It's what leads to inflammation. So it's very important to control it. And how you do it is with antioxidants. And so my blend is the first multi-pathway, multi-antioxidant on the market, right? We take multivitamins.
Yep.
We don't have a multi-antioxidant.
Interesting. Okay.
And so that's what I created because antioxidants, they all work through different pathways. And it's really important to not just take one, to take all the different ones that work together. Okay.
Okay. So is this combination of antioxidants, is this a secret combination or is it
No,
something you can talk about? Okay.
I'm very transparent about the formula and we can dig into it. And that's again a very intentional choice that I made. A lot of people were telling me you should do a proprietary blend. I said absolutely not. I want to be clear about what I'm including, at what dose and why, right?
Okay.
Because that's the ethos of the company.
Yep.
So, okay, let's keep going. So CALM, CA. The next one is L for lipid barriers. So I'm starting to hear more and more people talk about your barrier lipids, right? Your skin barrier. And it's very important because when we talk about hydration, hydration comes from the ability of your skin to hang on to the moisture and the water,
Okay.
right? And so
Yep.
if your barrier is intact, you're not going to lose the water as quickly and you're going to get hydrated, plump, glowy skin. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay. This is so interesting to me. Keep going.
Yeah. So that's a really important pillar. And I'm using a really beautiful ingredient. It's a trademarked ingredient from France. It's a ceramide. It's called ceramicides. And it has been shown in clinical trials to increase hydration of your skin in as little as 2 weeks. And the kicker with this ingredient is that at that same dose that I'm using for skin, they have shown hair benefits. And so a lot of feedback that I'm getting from people is that it's making their hair shed less, it's making their hair grow quicker. One woman said it's making her eyelashes grow. And yeah,
Wow.
it's a really beautiful ingredient.
Okay.
So that's the lipid barrier. And
Okay.
then the last one, calm, is mitochondrial health, right? So everything in your body needs cellular energy, right? For collagen to form, the cells need energy. And, you know, it's very trendy now is to inject NAD plus. So I have niacinamide at 500 milligrams in the formula. And what it does is it goes through the same pathway as when you inject the NAD to create NAD plus, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
So I take this every day. I don't do NAD plus injections because I don't need to because I drink this
But your
drink.
body's already producing more NAD because of the niacinamide in your okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the framework, calm. So it's collagen, it's antioxidants, it's barrier support, and it's mitochondrial health.
Okay.
And that's the product. It's 18 ingredients, and I have different ingredients very thoughtfully kind of included for each pillar, and it's a very much a holistic way to approach skin health from within on the cellular level.
Yes, yes. That's beautiful. And it sounds like it's very easy to incorporate into your daily lifestyle.
It has to be. Otherwise, no matter how good a supplement is, if you're not taking it, you're not going to get the effects, right?
That is so true.
Yeah. So this is one
about the
scoop.
delivery. Is this something that you mix in with something? Give me the logistics behind that.
Yeah, it's one scoop that you put into a glass, you pour water over it. This way it doesn't clump. And you don't need a hand mixer or anything. Like my manufacturer did a really phenomenal job in formulating it. And so you just stir it, it dissolves very easily, and you drink it. It's a bright orange color. And that's a very natural color from mostly astaxanthin. And that's orange. We don't add any colorants or anything. It tastes delicious. Absolutely everyone that has given me feedback said, I can't believe how good it tastes.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a citrusy taste. It is sugar-free. I'm using a really interesting, actually, sweetener. It's called Ono, and it's a fermented Reb M. So it's the highest quality part of the stevia plant. Yeah, and so it doesn't leave that metallic fake aftertaste. It's a very, very clean profile. And people who can't tolerate stevia usually can tolerate this because it's just a very high quality ingredient.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And what is the product actually called?
So it's called Advanced Skin Nutrition, and the brand name is Atika. I don't know if this is going to be on video, but this is what it looks like.
Perfect.
So it's a jar. Yeah.
And how do people, first of all, I mean, I still have questions for you, but since we're
Yeah.
talking the product itself, where do people find your product? Is it out in stores? Do they go online? Do you have sites for that?
Yeah, so it's online right now. It's just on my website. We're not on Amazon yet. We are in a few, like I'm in San Diego, so we are in a few like medical spas locally, but it's really mostly just online. And it's atikawellness.com, or I say atikawellness.com.
Okay, wonderful. I'm definitely checking it out. So that's awesome. So what's the next steps for you? I mean, this is a road that you just jumped into, and I know you had background in pharmacy before, but this is like something, the health and wellness and longevity space is like really opening up right now. And it's finally, I've been in the beauty industry for 26 years, but I've also been like very curious about health wellness, and like I have a very balanced diet and routine, and now like the spaces are coming together, and it's exciting because more than ever have we been talking about like health from within. So your product is so interesting, and I think it's a perfect time to be like really tapping into the space. What do you feel is next for you?
So I created this because I wanted a product that was good enough for me to put into my body. And just to give you an example, the product is formulated for adults, so I definitely don't recommend anyone give it to their children. Having said that, I have two little kids, they're 9 and 12, and I adjust the dosage and I give it to my kids every day, mostly for the antioxidants. One thing I want to actually add, if we can go on a little tangent, is the antioxidant pillar. It's oxidative stress from UV light as well, right? And so I have several ingredients in there that help to protect your skin from UV damage, right? So it's not going to replace your sunblock, but it's a really nice bump up to whatever sunblock you use, because let's face it, how many of us actually use enough? How many of us reapply every hour, right? No way,
No
especially
way.
if we've got our makeup on. And so this is a really nice way to have that baseline protection built in. And
Yeah.
so that's part of the reason why I give it to my kids is, we live in Southern California. We get a lot of sun. And so I know that even if they're not reapplying the sunblock that I so diligently put in their backpacks, right? There's a base layer of protection, right?
Yeah.
And the same goes for blue light. So, a lot of us wear blue light blocking glasses, right, to protect the eyes. I have two ingredients in there that actually act as physical filters in your eyes for blue light.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is very interesting considering I do the same. I've been more behind the computer than I have been in a long time. And I can tell that it affects you, especially at night, like if you don't get off of your devices. But that's really interesting because also, I think hitting 45, all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, I've never had to have glasses or read.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, like within a year, it's just like, boom. Like, I'm like, wow, like I really actually do need readers
Yeah. I know. It's horrible. I know. I'm right there with you.
so quickly too. I'm like, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, now I can't see my phone. I'm doing this thing with it.
Yeah. Have you started doing the flashlight on the menu yet?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like embarrassing flashlight moment. I can't see. Just hold on.
Yep.
Yeah, no. Shouts out to a company called Look Optics actually that have very fashionable readers. So
I'll have to check it out.
I've been indulging in their designs, but this is so exciting. Tell me, where do you see this industry going? Because you are in the pharmacy industry and you have so much background in also finance and like you blew me away with that story. So, what advice can you give to people that are out there like in positions like you and I that might be like in our like mid-year, we're like changing, we're pivoting and what light can you shed on that? Because I think it's really important. There's a lot of people that listen to this podcast that are looking for that inspiration.
Welcome to Another Million Miles, your personal lifestyle concierge with credibility. Here we go beyond surface level advice. We dive deep into transformational insights from experts who set the standard in their fields.
Yeah, so, I love where we're moving as a society, that we're paying more attention to our sleep, that we're paying more attention to our diet, that we're paying more attention to movement, right? I love it. I think it's great. The one caveat as I'm sort of watching this show unfold is that I hope we don't over optimize, right? I hope we don't take it too far where we're so stressed by all the metrics and all the data that we're collecting, right? That
Right.
it doesn't actually backfire.
Yeah.
So like I wear the Aura ring, but I actually don't check the app. I don't check the app that often because what I've noticed is that if the app tells me that I didn't sleep well, it sort of affects me mentally. And even if I was feeling great, now I'm like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't be feeling so great, right? And this is all subconscious, but it's like it affects you.
Yeah.
It
No, you
affects.
make actually a really good point. To be honest, Dr. Shapiro, you make a great point that I think that, we're all human, first of all, and I've been known to do the same thing. I have to make sure that I'm getting my cold plunge in and my sauna in and my red light therapy in. And you almost become like obsessed about optimizing to the
Right.
point where you're spiking your cortisol levels. You're actually
Exactly. Yeah.
creating, to your point, more oxidative stress on your body because everything's got to be so optimized and like it becomes this internal competition with yourself. And I mean, I've seen it with myself. I've seen it when I'm talking to doctors and professionals about peptide therapy. It's like a little is good, so more is better. And I think I really appreciate the attention to your 18 ingredients and like choosing them not just because of what they are, but because of how the relationships that they have with each other and how it helps intensify the productivity of something. Because the last thing that I actually made a agreement to myself this year that until I finished at least 70 to 80% of every single supplement, I was not going to buy another freaking thing. And it's like, you're so like, we are just so connected to this that like,
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
like in the middle of the night going, oh, I need that. That's going to change. It's like, how many things can you do in one day? So I love what you said about simplicity.
Yeah. And look, I could have put more ingredients in there, right? 18 was the restraint was a very deliberate choice, right? I could have thrown 20, 30, 40 more ingredients in there, but I didn't. And that was a very intentional choice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like I can appreciate that because, when we are passionate about something, it's like you want it to be the best. You want it to like do everything, have everything. I think when you like develop a product like you did with intention and purpose, I think that it's going to have the sustainability and the longevity of, sticking for a really long time and doing really great things for the people that are using it.
I want to mention one more thing. The word bioavailability gets thrown around a lot, right?
Yes.
And, bioavailability is important. It's, people say you are what you eat. Other people say you are what you absorb, right? Because it's different. And so when I formulated this product, a lot of so supplements, vitamins can be split into two groups. They're either water soluble or they're fat soluble, right? And the fat soluble ones you need to take with food so that it has the carrier to actually get into your bloodstream, right? So I have carotenoids in here. I have, vitamin D, which is a fat soluble vitamin. And so what I wanted to do was to make it easy, right? That people don't have to necessarily take it with food if they don't want to. Like, for instance, I don't eat breakfast and I like to drink this in the morning. And so I included some MCT oil that gives that fat, that carrier for the fat soluble vitamins. And so that it maximizes bioavailability.
That's really important. And thank you for actually explaining that because I think to your point, that does get thrown around a lot. I think, yeah, the more people understand about a supplement, like I think that it's really important. Like, why does it work? It sounds like you've taken a lot of time to put together the real reason why it works.
Well, I made it for myself, right? It
Yeah,
wasn't.
I know. And I love that story because it's so funny when you were saying that. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're kind of like a soul sister. I got into kind of the beauty and the trade side of things selfishly as well. I really wanted to get into like education and for when I opened up my own salon and brand, and people are like, now they're going like, how did you get to where you're at? And I'm like, well, it's kind of by a mistake.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm okay with that because it's been a really interesting journey, and the pivoting has been something that I think makes us strong as women and makes us a little bit more like open and flexible. So I love that you shared that. Thank you, because that's really inspiring.
I think it's a female thing, actually. A lot of female entrepreneurs become entrepreneurs because they wanted to solve a problem that they faced. Whereas men, I feel like, approach it from a different angle.
Yeah. No, that's true. I love that. And I would agree with that 100%.
Can I tell you about the trademarked ingredients that I put into the formula and why I did so?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I have 4 trademarked ingredients in the formula. And again, I made this for myself, so I wanted the highest quality, right? So I'll start with collagen. The collagen that I use is a trademarked collagen from Germany. It's called Verisol. So this is a collagen that was specifically formulated for skin health, right? Because there are different types of collagen. They work on, you can take it for joints, you can take it for bones, muscles, etc. So this is a collagen that has the lowest molecular weight, and it was specifically formulated for skin health. It's the only collagen on the market that, at least I know of, that has 7 human clinical trials specifically for skin. Right? So it works. The quality is there. The quality consistency is there. It is from Germany, which means EU regulations, right? The cattle is pastured across the European Union, eating grass that is not sprayed with some of the pesticides that we allow in our country, right? So it's a very, very high quality product. So that's collagen, Verisol. Then I have included, like I mentioned, the ceramides. They're also trademarked. It's a company out of France. And the reason, there is generic, it's cheaper, right, to include just the generic ceramide. But again, this is the one that has the clinical research behind it. This is the formulation that has the consistency, right? And so that's what I want. So that's in there. The third one is astaxanthin. Do you take astaxanthin? Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. I do not take it. Why should I?
So
Now you've got me going, uh-oh, I'm not.
So if you were to ask me, Lily, if you could only take one supplement only in your life, what would it be? It would be a toss-up between fish oil, right, and astaxanthin. Probably astaxanthin. It is an antioxidant. It's derived from algae, and it has, name a body part, it has an effect on it, right? Cognition, cardiovascular health, eye health, skin health. It's an amazing ingredient. There are two types. There's natural astaxanthin that's derived from algae, and there's synthetic that they make in a lab. The synthetic doesn't have as many benefits. It's just not as nutrient rich. And so you really want the natural. And so I went with a trademarked one. It's grown in Washington State, and it's the astaxanthin that has, again, the greatest number of clinical trials on it for human health. And so it's Astareal xanthin, and I included at 4 milligrams, which is the dose that has been studied in humans.
Okay.
And then the fourth trademarked ingredient is red-orange complex. So it's basically a mix of citrus fruits grown in Sicily, in Italy, and really beautiful data on UV protection and on elasticity and skin tone. And so, yeah, and I included, of course, again, at the right dose that has been studied.
That is incredible. That is incredible. I have more questions for you, but we are out of time for today. But I would love to get you back on and
Yeah, would love to.
yeah, and just kind of see where your journey is in like 6 months to a year. And because it sounds like it's going to, I know it doesn't even sound like it is going to be something that I think you're going to have incredible success with.
Thank you. I hope so.
So thank you again, Lily. Where do people find you? I know you gave mention to your website. Do you have any social media pages that you want to throw out there?
Yeah, so we've been posting a lot on Instagram, and it's mostly just educational content that I think it's really resonating. Like we're just building up our following, but we have very few unfollows. I think the content is really resonating with people, and it's the handle is atika.wellness.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you again, Dr. Shapiro, for taking the time to speak with me, speak with my audience, and just share this incredibly valuable information. And I just appreciate it.
No, thank you. This was really fun.
So friends, thank you again. We love these conversations. They bring us into, the true meaning of what we are here to do and how we should be living our life. So your skin isn't just something to fix. I think this information has given you hopefully feedback that it's really biology, and it's a systematic approach to taking care of yourself from the inside out and how important that is. So if this episode resonated with you, if you have someone to share with, please subscribe to Another Million Miles. And again, we are always bringing on people from all walks and shapes and industries of this incredible world. And until next time, be well, smile, live your life, and take care of yourself. Thank you again.
Thank you for joining me on Another Million Miles, where luxury and authenticity meet to enrich your journey. This is Another Million Miles, and I'll see you on the path ahead in our next episode. Until then, keep embracing the journey, savoring each moment, keep dreaming big and moving closer to the life you envisioned, and traveling afar.